What's up everybody, welcome back to Double T Gaming, and we're going to be taking a look at Project Epoch now that we're 3 weeks past launch. Now me personally, I haven't had as much time to grind levels as I'd like. I've been splitting time between Turtle, Epoch, making videos, working my day job, playing NBA 2K, and I also have a 2-year-old running around, but I've been keeping up with the servers, the updates, and what the community's been saying about it. So let's talk about where things stand right now, and of course, please leave your thoughts on how Epoch has been for you down in the comment section. So at launch, we had 3 servers. We had Kezan, Menethil as the 2 PvE servers, and then Gurubashi as the PvP server. I'd say maybe about a week or so after launch, Kezan and Menethil actually merged into one server, and as of right now, about 2 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. server time on a Thursday when I'm recording this audio, Kezan is sitting at around 7,300 players, and Gurubashi is sitting at about 5,300 players. I think those are pretty good numbers for a private server 3 weeks in. It might be still riding that high of the fresh launch experience, but it is just a random Thursday. But I do think 6 p.m. is considered to be peak time for the server, so it's probably about the max number you'll be seeing, probably a little bit more on the weekends. So early on, I think grouping did have that pretty frustrating issue. You can only group with players within 7 levels of you, and in vanilla it isn't uncommon to have a very wide array of group levels during questing or dungeon content, and if you stretched outside of that range, you'd basically earn like 1 experience point per mob. So if you were a little bit higher level trying to run a little bit lower dungeon for a quest you may not have done, you basically weren't getting invited because it would be no experience at all. That has since been eased up to 10 levels, so I think that kind of helps questing and grouping overall a lot easier. But that said, one of the most consistent struggles people still talk about in LFG and World Chat and Reddit or whatever it is, finding a tank. Healers and DPS I think are everywhere, but it's a common opinion that tanks are in short supply. Basically like any other version of WoW, maybe outside of Wrath when DKs were just running around everywhere. So groups sometimes end up waiting around for that one last role to fill. But my leveling experience overall though has been pretty good, albeit I haven't made it past level 20 yet on any of my characters. But you can tell even from just the starting zone that the difficulty is ramped up a small amount with the new abilities some of these mobs have. And of course the world and LFG chat are constantly going, whether it be actual WoW content like looking for a group or any world related WoW news, or just some random brain rot political stuff that you see on any private server world chat, even classic world chat. It's your typical Barons chat. But I mean, the world itself still feels really alive. For me personally, it's been fun to mess around and learn about each class with their 61 talent tree system and bringing in those TBC abilities into the vanilla world. By the way, if you haven't checked out my class guides, please do. But I'm sure when majority of folks get to that end game level and the racial swapping kicks in, we'll see some good off-meta comps that usually you don't see for vanilla. On the PvP side, Gurubashi of course is the hotspot for that. People are saying world PvP is happening everywhere in low level zones, high level zones, your typical phase 1 classic world PvP. Some people love the chaos, others get salty, which I mean if you're one of those people who get upset for getting killed on a PvP server, I mean, you're the one who rolled on a PvP server. But it definitely has that classic risk versus reward feel that a lot of people were hoping for. And again, you're looking at 5,000 people online during peak hours on the server, so to hopefully stay popping like that for a while. And PvP on Epoch is just overall probably the best private server PvP experience you'll get for a Classic Plus. People say it's way better than Turtle, there's custom gearing for Epoch. So if you want PvP, definitely roll on Epoch. And if you want super PvP, definitely roll Gurubashi. Over on PvE, I think things are just as active. I see posts for dungeons constantly, people looking to do quests. There's no shortage of people looking to play the game. Resource competition in the crowd level zones can get annoying, but I think that's starting to even out as kind of the leveling packs get separated. There's also a lot of layers, I think, still on Epoch, which is a bit, maybe kills your immersion a little bit, but it does help with the ability to actually get stuff done. I think layering has improved a tad, but you can definitely notice it in the lower level zones, especially around launch day. But I do think we're about to hit that point of probably leveling out population-wise. Most classic players drop off around level 30, I'd say, because that level 30 to 40 grind is usually just super brutal. But the quality of life changes as Epoch has brought in may be fighting against that. Mainly the mobility sides of things. If you're not a hunter, if you're not a druid or something, or a shaman, mobility really sucks, especially when you're running around freaking shimmering flats for 30 minutes just going in a circle doing the same quest over and over again. But I mean, content wise, we still have the 2 reworked dungeons, Deadmines and Wailing Caverns, custom mechanics, custom areas in the game, plus the brand new Glittermurk Mines, which gameplay wise I've seen it looks pretty good. Another thing worth mentioning in a different direction is there is a new Cosmetic cash shop. This has mounts, appearances, pets, titles, all strictly cosmetic, no pay to win. The team has said this helps them keep development and support full time, so it's funding an ongoing process without really impacting gameplay. I know this is a touchy subject for a lot of people and it could be considered a slippery slope, but as of right now, again, it's just for some cosmetic items to keep the server development running. Also, dual spec, which is in Project Epoch, originally was 1,000 gold. That has since dropped to 100 gold, and if you did buy it, you were refunded the 900 gold for it. So speaking of development, opinions are kind of mixed. On one hand, if you check their Discord changelog, they're posting updates and bug fixes daily, sometimes multiple posts in a single day containing multiple bug fixes per post. On the other hand, players still report that it still feels like a pretty buggy experience overall. So whether you think they're moving fast enough really depends on, I guess, how patient you are with these bug fixes. But you can't really deny, I guess, that the team is actively still trying to push those patches. I guess it just depends on the quality of how you feel that push is. But that's just kind of the broad picture that I've seen. I want to hear from you guys. How are you feeling about Project Epoch 3 weeks in? Are you guys loving it? Are you burned out? Are you somewhere in the middle? Drop your experiences in the comments because I'm curious how the community is holding up now that the fresh launch energy is settling a little bit. But even though that energy is settling a little bit, I think overall it's still riding that high just a tad. So PvP is in a great place, probably the best Classic Plus PvP of any server overall, like I said. PvE is still thriving, getting groups is good, leveling is good. It's not perfect, bugs are still part of the experience, but the hype hasn't slowed down at all, I think. We'll just have to wait and see how things go population-wise in the next few weeks. I'm sure some Turtle WoW doomsdayers have probably switched over by now after the news last week. But I'll keep checking back in as things evolve with Epoch. I hopefully plan on streaming Epoch, Turtle, as well as Bronzebeard here soon. So the trifecta of your Classic Plus servers. If you have the time and you see me live, it'd be awesome for you to just stop in and say hello. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more Classic Plus content. Thank you guys for watching. This is Double T Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next video.